Buenos dias. And today is the 9th of November, Tuesday, martes. Or in French, mardi, I believe. Lundi, mardi. I didn't do well in French. I took French for 3 years in college because, to be honest with you, I was there to play basketball, and my friend said, it's an easy B or C. Just telling the truth. It wasn't too academically oriented. So, 3 years, and I can't remember 10 words. That's sad, right? By the way, if any of you speak 2 languages, don't lose them. Add another one if you can. I wish I could speak another language fluently beside English. We are now in a new chapter in Romans. Can you believe it? Chapter 15. And he's still on the same subject. My goodness. Chapter 14, which is 23 verses ago, says, except the one whose faith is weak without quarreling over disputable matters. One person's faith allows him to eat anything, another one's whose faith is weak eats only vegetables. So then we went through that whole thing. And now in the 15th chapter, verse 1 and verse 2 together with it. We who are strong ought to bear with the failings of the weak and not to please ourselves. We who are strong, how? Physically? No, in faith. More mature. Ought to bear with the failings of the weak and not to please ourselves. Each of us should please our neighbor for their good to build them up. I mean, when, Paul, are you going to get off this edification, build one another up, say things that will make for peace and for mutual edification? I mean, enough already. No. Why? Because we tend to tear each other down. We don't respect one another enough and love one another. We're insecure and our egos are the size of Montana. And we have to assert our individuality. I am somebody. Well, Jesus is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and he teaches us to not to live for ourselves, but to bear with the failings of the weak and not to please ourselves. Each of us should please our neighbors for their good to build them up, living to please someone else. I think that's what Jesus did when he was on the earth. Didn't he wash their feet? Didn't he go about doing good and healing people oppressed by the devil? Didn't he die on the cross for others? Didn't he love the disciples to the very end? Didn't he put up with every foolish thing Peter, James, John, and the rest of them ever did? To the very end, including deserting him? Didn't he put up with that? Or did he get an attitude? And after he rose from the dead, did he meet them and go, you guys? You got to be kidding, right? You're going to follow me now? Oh, yeah, sure. No, that's the way we are. And forget what he put up with Peter, James, and John. How about what he put up with Jim? All the mistakes, all the failings, all the wrong actions, deeds, words, thoughts. Hasn't he been that way with you, patient, loving, and kind? So he's teaching us here, Paul, over and over again, don't live for yourself and have to express yourself, and I gotta be me. Just analyze people around you today. Go in a restaurant and listen. And find out how much it is. What I think, what I want, what I think is right. My opinion. And how little is, so how you doing? So how you doing? What can I say to help you? What do you need? What are you going through? So to build each other up, not pleasing ourselves, but please our neighbors for their good, and bear with those who are not quite as strong in faith as we might be. Repetition in the Bible is for emphasis. So how important must this be? I learned of a church just recently where someone didn't like the teaching or something about the leadership of the pastor. So they decided to leave. Fair enough. Fair enough. You don't like a church? You don't like the Brooklyn Tabernacle? Go with God. Adios. Find where you feel comfortable. No, but these people didn't just leave. They called other members then of the church and told them to leave. They lambasted the pastor, not on doctrinal grounds, on whatever grounds. So younger Christians heard that and stumbled at it and said, what are they doing that for? Why are people leaving the church? Oh, because this family left and they don't like the way someone was treated because, oh, that's what it was. A family member was corrected. A young person was corrected by the leadership because they were out of order. And you think the family would have said, yeah, he needed that or she needed that. No. How dare you correct? And it wasn't a teenager, it was someone of legal age. And they dealt with them lovingly but firmly. We're pulling everybody out. And we're going to pull everybody out. It's a war, us against them. Hatfields and McCoys. Let's shoot at each other. That's just beautiful. And then we're going to sing, when we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. You miserable person, you know what I'm concerned about? That God isn't going to send people to heaven to be with people that they hated on earth and didn't want to be around, whether it's racially, politically, or just fussing. Why would God in love ruin our eternities by making us be with people that we detest, we don't love? And in the Bible, there's 1 John, there's love and then there's hate. There's no in between, like I'll tolerate you. No, there's just love and hate. Come on, let's love one another. Let's build one another. Pastor Cymbala, you've been saying that day after day. What can I do? I only work here. I just read the book and the book keeps saying that. Must be important. By this shall everyone know you're my disciples, because you love one another. Let's do it. Amen.